This is December 15th, 2015, Edible Acres 2 update on the chicken system. We're in mid-December, so mid-May to mid-December puts us what? 7-month-old chickens, 8-month-old chickens. All of them have survived from the get-go. Let's close the gate here. Give me a moment. And one-handed gate operation, maybe not. Just finished. That's definitely a thing to upgrade. But anyway, other than that, the system's working great. Getting lots of eggs. I know I haven't updated my camera, but I'm ordering a new one. We'll see how that goes. You can see kind of a wacky thing that we're doing right here is we're feeding them their own shells, which seems like a no-no, except we save all their shells and we crush them up and put them on the wood stove on a tray and they dry down. It seems like it's been helping make the eggshells way thicker and stronger. Last time I recorded, Big Red came at me pretty strong. That's the rooster right there. So I had to quit recording, so we'll see how he acts today. But let's look at the system and just kind of see some highlights of it all. So I'm coming into the compost yard here. They got some oyster shells, and now they've got their own shells to recycle back through the system. It seems like a better use for the shells that are left over than throwing them in the recycling or the compost, because they take forever to break down in there. Kind of an odd thing to see, but it is what it is. We get leftovers from a friend who hunts, and so the chickens work on rib cages every few days. I just take them and flip them. I know some people are really into the idea of vegetarian fed chickens, but these are omnivorous dinosaurs, so letting them whack at a rib cage for a while seems like a great way for them to build up their bodies and give us really nice quality eggs. And you can see this is the compost area. It is definitely nothing to write home about visually, but I've got some very roughly done windrows. Tons of charcoal in here that's being inoculated by the chickens as it goes. You know, we throw our food scraps, just put up a bunch of cabbages the other day. Those all came out. Food scraps that have coffee grinds and things go into another compost bin, but all our apple mash from pressing 50 gallons of cider the other day, that's all out here. And so the chickens are really having a good time. And you can see there's little tufts of green everywhere. This is by virtue of the grain that they're getting, which is also free. I get all the waste grain, well, not all, some waste grain from my friend Greg. Now Big Red's going to try to give me a hard time. Move it along, bub. Certainly won't poke him, but I don't want him near me. Go on. Scotich, get out of here. We got these metal garbage cans that I've got under the awning of the coop. Keeps them a little bit more protected from the rain. And you can see these are just floor sweepings from a local organic flour mill. And it's a whole big assortment. There's polenta dust and buckwheat and whole red winter wheat. All sorts of other grain dust in there. And I'm very liberal with that, with the chickens. They don't absolutely love it though. They are more interested in general going after the worms in the soil. And I figure ultimately whatever grain they don't get sprouts, and then if they don't eat the sprouted stuff, that gets turned under, and eventually the worms eat that, and then eventually they eat the worms. Worms are like their steak out of the system. They seem to really prefer the worms. But all of this slowly moves up through trophic levels up to the chickens. I think that's the right word for it. You know, starting with the high point with the compost over there, whatever leaks in that system or isn't consumed by them ultimately will be consumed by them in the form of earthworms and pillbugs and all the other beasts. There you go. There's the other rooster. Maybe I should X that out. 2 roosters in the crew, and it seems like they both are compatible with each other. They are interacting. Big Red's more interested in giving me a hard time than the other guy. Chook, 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 chook. Chook, 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 chook. Let's see if that placates him so I can at least make a video. He's a good defender. He's really nice to the ladies, but he really keeps a close eye on me, and every once in a while I've got to give him a hard time, push him away with a... I kind of get up in his business with a rake and that keeps him away. Let's take a quick look in the coop. This has been working really nicely for us. The automatic door opens and shuts every morning, every night. Put a bunch of poly around the outside just to keep the wind off for the winter months, but left it open up at the top so it can still breathe. And we're doing deep litter method in here. I should talk quiet. There's a lady laying. I'm still getting sawdust from my friend's wood mill, and this is now probably 6, maybe 8 inches thick of sawdust with manure. And I don't smell anything bad in here. We just keep adding sawdust and that'll be the plan. That's a nice image right there. So the other day I collected 36 eggs from here. That was 2 days worth. So it's 18 eggs a day from 23 laying hens in middle December on no purchased food. You can see there's 7 in that one. I'll come back for them. They've been absolutely amazing quality eggs, really thick shells, I think in part because we're cycling the eggshells back through them. They seem to really enjoy them. And yeah. Hello. They're so odd when they're sitting in here. They're like little statues. I'll let her be. We've learned to come to collect around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. They tend to be done doing their laying by then. And they really prefer 1 or 2 boxes. Anyway, that's the system for the door on and off, you know, click click, closes it, click click, opens it. I haven't adjusted for daylight savings and the shifting time, but it seems like it just works. I haven't really thought about letting them out or putting them in at night for about 3 months now, so it just works. If we have a power outage, when the power turns when the power turns back on, I've got to come and check it because it power cycles it. You can see I've got to redo the hinge on this. Here's your uninteresting close-up. But this has been serving us well. So the same old coop. Looks like the coop should be able to accommodate a pretty marked increase in the flock. So if we get up to 50 birds next year, you know, there's 2 roosters and there's lots of fertilization going on, so we're probably going to get a lot more chickens. And we can accommodate that pulse in a structure like this. Excuse me. Pardon me. And rainwater coming down the gutter, which is made out of old roof metal, goes through a little filter. And for now, because we're coming into randomly freezing weather, it just dumps to this container. We don't really mess around with having to deal with water for them much. There's one big open container there that tends to stay topped off by rains. We're definitely in a moist area. It's more water comes in than they drink in a big open container like that. And then one last thing, and I'll call it a day. Oh boy, there's a big red. He doesn't like me coming through. Yeah? Okay. One last thing. Oh, a little sketchy having a big guy like that come at you, I'll tell you. This is my solution for water for the winter. In the middle of this compost area, I can continually bank more and more compost up against this. It's certainly warmer than ambient air in that area around it. They won't kick the material into the water because it's up to a slope and then coming down. And in the water I've added a bunch of charcoal from biochar production in the wood stove. I have other videos on that. And so that's like a nice perpetual water filter. Very crystal clear water, and they can hop up on this little log and free choice into drinking this all winter. So we'll see how that works. I'll make an update if that does work well. As it gets colder, I'll just bank more compost. Seems simple enough, right? We'll see. There you go, it's the Wild West chicken zone. But we're still 100% not purchased feed for these chickens. They've all got great weight. I think they look beautiful and they're really healthy. There's no pecking in any significant way or health challenges that we see. Everybody seems happy. They're mating frequently, they're eating all day, and they're laying lots of eggs. And they're a lot of fun to have. So This is our system for raising chickens with no real overhead, so it's all just that all day, every day. Thanks for watching. Big Red. What's up, Deuce?